All right, welcome back to Right Path to Retirement, the podcast hosted by Jimmy Lynn, president, founder, and financial advisor at Right Path to Retirement. Get in touch with Jimmy and the team, the complimentary consultations, seminars, live events, all of it, rightpathtoretirement.com or 702-805-7000, just in the Las Vegas area there. And in, Jimmy, what you call the best time of year in Vegas, those moderate temperatures there after the heat of summer. How you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. So, again, this is going to be December that we're listening to this, and the weather could not be better. And this is the point where all the businesses and all the homes are decorated for the holiday season, and so I love it in Vegas right now.
Yeah, you sound like you're in your element there, and you just got out of Thanksgiving there, getting ready to host folks at Christmas, and you also open your arms, you and the Right Path to Retirement team do, for a very special charity partner too. So could you explain to us about Opportunity Village?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the listeners in Las Vegas who have been here for a while, they are very familiar with Opportunity Village, but they're a local charity organization that basically provides services for adults with intellectual disabilities. So obviously, that part of our population is kind of marginalized because there's not enough resources to help them build skills and to go out there and kind of make it on their own. And so a support system like Opportunity Village, a huge organization, they have multiple campuses all throughout Las Vegas, and they provide the facilities and the instructions to actually teach these adults with these intellectual disabilities with the skills they need to actually go out and make money, So they have contracts with some of the hotels to have some type of, manufacture some type of item. It could be like care packages that, when you go to a hotel, you get a care package in the room, and they actually have Opportunity Village provide the people to actually assemble these packages. That's just one example of what Opportunity Villages does to provide these individuals with these opportunities. But the partnership that we actually have with Opportunity Village is with their art program. So when my wife and I actually visited their campus, we saw their art program where they have all these participants that are just creating amazing pieces of art. There's some of it's woodwork, some of it is water paintings, but they're creating these pieces of art and they have them for display to sell. But they also have a program where companies like ours can display their artwork in our retail locations. So in this case, our offices in Henderson and Summerlin, we have them displayed. And what's neat about that, Doug, is that every piece of art that is on our walls also has a picture of the person that painted that piece of art, a little description about them. And there's a QR code. So anyone that comes in, they're able to just click on that QR code and make a purchase of that piece of art. And 50% of the proceeds go to the artist, and then 50% go to this wonderful organization to continue to create these experiences.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. And Opportunity Village, besides having this program, we are in the holiday season, and they're actually well known for their magical forest, where they basically take over. I think it's a high school football stadium, and they create these amazing experiences. Santa's there. They have hundreds of decorated Christmas trees, and then just a lot of activities for the kids. So they're a great local charity in town, do a lot of wonderful things, and we're just proud to be a small part of their charitable work.
Oh, we're proud to be working with you and somebody that has a heart for that, Jimmy. So if you go to rightpathtoretirement.com and want to learn more, there's a community involvement tab on there, and then you could dig in a little bit deeper. And hey, head to one of Jimmy and the team's offices there and purchase some artwork. It goes to help empower people that have had a little bit of trouble, and also to an organization that continues to empower those people. Again, so you can find all that at rightpathtoretirement.com. Now, Jimmy, let's jump right in, because you love helping people, whether it's in that sense or, of course, with their retirement plans. And one of the things that actually has a lot of different tricks to it and a lot of different options, maybe even intimidatingly too many, is Social Security. So can you help guide us through the path to taking SSI and when to do so?
Yeah, SSI, Social Security, is the foundation for retirement. For some people, this is their only source of consistent income coming in. So it is really important and really confusing, as you had stated. It's so confusing, in fact, that our monthly seminars cover a large portion of things to consider with regards to Social Security, when you should file, some of the considerations of penalties and things of that nature. So it's really a topic that we all know about Social Security, but not a lot of people know about the nuances of the different decisions you can make. So we'll cover all that today. But at the heart of it, Social Security is a pension. It's a pension that people have paid into over their lifetime. And when they're ready to retire, they're going to turn on their Social Security as a portion of their retirement income. The biggest consideration and the biggest question that we have with people that come in for their consultations is, when should I file for Social Security? I mean, it's the $1 million question, and we always kind of give that lawyer answer of it depends, right? But we always tell people, let's talk about the things that that are going to affect your decision. And then whatever decision you make, as long as you have all the information in hand, then there's not a bad decision. It's a personal decision. But at the basic level, you can typically file for Social Security as early as age 62. For most of our listeners, full retirement age is going to be considered either 66 and a half, or most likely 67 is what's going to be considered full retirement age. So when the listeners out here, when you create your Social Security account, you go to ssa.gov. When you log in, it will actually give you an estimate of what your full retirement age benefit will be. It's also known as your primary insurance amount. And that full retirement age benefit is what you can receive, let's say, at age 67. But if you take it at age 62, which is earliest you can take it, you're actually taking a 30% reduction in your benefits. So give you an example, Doug. If you at age 67, you were going to get $2,000 per month at your full retirement age, that's considered your full retirement age benefit. But you decide, you know what, you don't want to work another 5 years, you're 62, you qualify for Social Security, so you're going to take it now. You're going to get a 30% reduction. So instead of $2,000 per month, you're getting $1,400 per month. And that reduced amount is locked in for the rest of your life, except for those annual cost of living adjustments that they do, right?
Yeah.
So you're taking that penalty. Now, if you decide, it's not all or nothing, you can take it at 63, 64, 65. So you can delay it a little bit past age 62, and the amount gets incrementally higher until you reach age 67, which is your full retirement age. So that's kind of the first thing to consider is, should you file early or should you file at your full retirement age?
Now, my gut reaction is kind of always to go conservative on that. Well, no, let me just take it as late as possible. What is a reason that someone would not do that? Or what's a reason to consider otherwise?
Well, some people would take it earlier, and the considerations oftentimes are going to be what your income needs are, because it's easy for us to say, delay it till age 67. That's your full retirement age. But if you don't have enough income to pay your bills and that Social Security is available for you, sometimes some people have no choice. They may not have saved enough other assets in order to delay. So income needs are a big one. Health is a big one, right? If you're just in poor health and you're 62 and you don't see a way forward to even making it to 67, that could be a reason why you would just want to turn it on. So at least you can utilize those funds while you're still, alive and maybe have some type of health. And then just family history, your longevity, right? My dad, he passed away last year at the age of 90. My mom is now 81, I believe. So we have longevity in our family. So for me, I would probably look to delay my Social Security because I know that it could pay off in the long run. But for some people, they know that their parents, they didn't live past like 72 or 73, right? So in that case, if you feel like there is not a lot of longevity in your genes, that could be a reason to take it early. The caveat here is that not only can you take it early, but as you were saying, Doug, if you want to push it back, there's also something called delayed credits. So full retirement age is age 67. The government, because Social Security is it's well known that it's in trouble a little bit, right? So they don't mind when people want to delay their benefits a little bit. Every year you delay past your full retirement age, you actually get an 8% increase. It's called a delayed credit.
Oh, wow.
until you reach age 70. So at age 70, you're maxed out. So the real calculation is trying to figure out that break-even point. Because obviously, if you turn on your benefit at age 62, you're getting smaller paychecks, but you're getting it for a longer period of time.
That's
if
right.
you delay until age 70, you're getting larger paychecks, but you forego about 8 years, right? So what is that break-even point? Typically it's going to be if you live past between 77 to 81, I think is the average, depending on when you take it. 77 to 81 is generally the break-even point. If you're going to live past 81, generally speaking, delaying Social Security, you're going to get a larger benefit in your lifetime because you start getting those larger checks for a longer period of time once you're in your 80s. So that's kind of the math behind it. I tell people in a joking way, if you tell me when you're going to die, I can tell you exactly when you should take Social Security. But without that information, there's no way. It's making your best guess. So again, it's really kind of talking about, what are your current income needs? Do you have other assets that can maybe bridge that gap, right? Because if you're going to take Social Security at age 67 or even age 70, that doesn't mean, people have that misconception that it means that they have to keep working until 67 or 70. But usually what you want to do is you could bridge the gap between when you retire and when you turn on Social Security by utilizing the savings and investments that you've been able to accumulate over time.
That's really interesting. And there's so many things to consider there, Jimmy. That's why they need to get in touch with somebody like you, or people need to, when they're starting to approach these retirement ages. Don't turn 62 and then decide, oh, I need to start planning that, right? It's when you're on the eve of retirement that you really need to start getting these ducks in a row. So if somebody is faced with these questions, what's the first step they should take and how can you help? We
talk to our prospects clients every single day about these issues because we really just scratch the surface of things to consider. Because there's things like earning limits. You can't make too much if you're filing for Social Security before your full retirement age. There's things like planning for your surviving spouse. There's things like spousal benefits. So we've just kind of scratched the surface on the things to consider with regards to Social Security. So I encourage everyone, because everyone's situation is different and they're going to be concerned with different parts of Social Security, to just schedule a time to meet with us in our offices. They can go to our website or give us a call at 702-805-7000. But that's the simplest way for us to really just provide you with a complimentary consultation. We'll look at your situation and tell you what pieces of Social Security you're going to really want to consider before you make your filing decision, because this decision could truly impact your entire retirement, because you get to make that decision one time, but that decision lasts for you for the rest of your life.
It really does. Yeah. Once you're committed there. And just a lot to consider. Maybe there's the one question that Jimmy in his years of experience asks that has the light bulb go off where you go, oh, no, I never thought of that. And that could, again, change your whole trajectory. So whether you're dialing 702-805-7000 or going to rightpathwm.com, short for Right Path Wealth Management, those are the directions you're going to go to get in touch with Jimmy and his team. And Jimmy, we thank you for the time today. And I guess any parting words about Social Security before we wrap up?
Again, I would just have people really, really do their due diligence in researching their specific situation, because there are so many moving parts that I would encourage people to do their research, talk to a professional, whether it's us or somebody in their life. But I cannot overstate how important a decision when to file Social Security is, because it impacts not only yourself, it can impact your entire family and generations to come.
Yeah, for sure. And taxes too. Let's not forget those. I know that's
another part that we didn't even touch on, Doug, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So if you start taking that money too early, bumps things up, or have some penalty, that all is worth considering. Again, go to rightpathwm.com, rightpathwm.com, and get in touch with Jimmy and the team. Well, Jimmy, we're into December now, so happy holidays, and thank you so much for lending your time.
Perfect. Thank you, Doug.
Appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for listening to the Right Path to Retirement podcast. He's Jimmy Lynn. I'm Doug Turnbull. Thanks to our host, or rather our producer, Daniel Salerson, for getting this all stitched together. And we're really thankful to him and to all of you for listening. So please tune in for another episode, which will be coming your way here very shortly. Be sure to subscribe, turn on those notifications, and check us out on Apple, Spotify, or under the media tab at rightpathwm.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Right Path Wealth Management. Right Path Wealth Management is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Right Path Wealth Management are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Right Path Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained by sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Right Path Wealth Management.